And welcome everyone. I'm proud to present you with a map called Belshir Vestige, and a game called Starcraft, and a set of the MSL Code S, not Code S, oh my goodness, the MSL Code Gold Semifinals. We are in game number 3 between DaveDiggler, the now Red Zerg player, in the top left-hand corner of the map, who is already up 2-0 in this matchup, and he's looking to close out the series 3-0, and his opponent, the Purple Protoss, in the bottom right-hand corner, jordasniper, is going to do all he can to remain viable and in this, as this is a best of 5, and it is also a double elimination. So even if he gets knocked out here, he can continue on. He just has to struggle his way through the loser's bracket, which, as we know, the loser's bracket is not always an easy place to survive. So here we go. So once again, very similar build from what we've seen out of jordasniper's Snowfar. Snowfar. My words are everywhere tonight. It's awesome. I'm doing what I can to make things entertaining for you, and it's not usually working. I apologize. But so far, it's just a little different placement. I would expect to see a gas go down almost immediately. Kind of surprised. There we go. Another probe coming out. It should be 15 gas. 15 gas. There we go. 15 gas. In retaliation, we see Hatch Pool from DaveDiggler. It was a little bit different build, I do believe. So once again, we're going to have a one base Protoss, is from the looks of it, based on pylon placement and previous playstyles, whereas DaveDiggler, nice job by the way, very crisp. Look at that. No one's floating tons of money that they don't have a plan for. That's how you can tell if someone's played Starcraft for a while. DaveDiggler now going for that pool, of course, continuing to build. He should. Does he have an Overlord in production right now? And then 2 more drones as soon as this done. He should do additional drones. There we go. As soon as this pops out, then the spawning pool should finish roughly the same time as the hatchery. It looks like this is going to finish a little bit early because I don't think he built an extra drone in between, which is what you traditionally do. But either way, we'll see double queens, and oh my goodness, we have things changed up a bit. This is Belshir Vestige. Remember, this is a relatively narrow choke. It allows you to defend it fairly adequately. It's fairly easy, especially with the Nexus Cannon. I do believe that the Nexus Cannon, or Photon Overcharge, has changed the game substantially. And look at this, DaveDiggler keeping the metagame alive. Check this out. Bam! Third base, his opponent is a 2-basing Protoss, which means he is going to turtle. He's probably going to, there's the forge. He's going to wall off, turtle up, and be aggressive in about 4 to 6 minutes. In response, the proper response as a Zerg is to have an additional base, because you can macro while they basically sit on their hands. With the introduction of Heart of the Swarm and the Mothership Core and Recall, there is the ability to be more annoying from Protoss, so you might need to keep a few Lings on the way, but generally you're not going to see much more than a Zealot and 2 Stalkers and a Mothership Core, or something like that, which, while difficult, is not mind-blowingly. It's not a huge attack. It's not meant to be a huge attack. It's instead meant to keep you from producing drones this entire time. As look how limited their ability to go out is. You have exactly 1 unit producing structure that's not making anything. We have a forge, some cannons, so the Overlord wisely fling. Leave me alone! Flying away ever so slowly with its claw-like hands. It looks like a crab, kind of. Just quite hideous. This is a little bit weird. It looks like that was supposed to be at this watchtower. Misclick on the minimap by it's not too far, but it turns out to be really far. Also, decent a job on the transfuses so far, or not transfuses, larva injects. He's got the additional queen up and running. He needs to get that over to his new base pronto. The Roachhorn is going down. 2 more, so we have some more gas geysers on their way. Looks like we're going to be up to 3. 3 is a specific number. Didn't just grab all of them. Doesn't need all that gas. Though 2 Evo chambers and a Roachhorn, if you're going to produce out of the Roachhorn, you at least need 3, actually, to be able to use both of these at the same time. And do we have Lair? Lair should be coming up really soon. Unit count. Look at the advantage so far, and I think I want to say that well, he is chrono boosting both of those Nexi. Generally, yeah. See the Nexi not being used quite as vigorously as they could be. There, now we're starting to see it. Generally, if you're chrono boosting probes and your opponent is a Zerg on 3 bases, generally you stay roughly even on worker count. Generally, the Zerg will have a little bit of a lead, but I think right now it's much larger of a lead than normal. Also, just want to point out the money is low, loving it. Observer on its way out. We do see the robotics bay being added on as well, so the playstyle this time is going to be very similar to what we saw before. We do have proper zealot placement, standing there Mace Windu-like in his purple glowing aura. And we do see some creep spread out of 4 queens. 4 queens can help spread the creep pretty well. Nowhere near enough energy for the rest of that. Yeah. A 4 queens is not a 6 queen build, and it's explicitly not that. Doesn't sound like a big deal, but the difference is creep here in 5 minutes and creep here in 5 minutes. It's actually pretty substantial. Scarlet made that one very popular. Acer Scarlet is quite good at the creep spread. Go ahead and look her up. She's one of the few female pro gamers that I know of for Starcraft 2. And she's actually quite good. She took out Bomber once in a really entertaining set of games on ocnLogan. Great games. Now we see the upgrades coming down. Wow, pneumatized carapace. Oh, it was being researched, and I do believe it was canceled. I was going to say that's a relatively uncommon one to see. Pneumatized carapace is the Overlord speed. Apparently, you inflate the Overlord like a balloon, and then it goes faster. That's what I'm inferring from pneumatized, which as a child I could not pronounce, and as an adult I gloriously attempt pronouncing it correctly. Come on, active creep tumors. Go, go, gadget, spread. These Zerglings, I really like what DaveDiggler is doing here, as he's keeping a rough eye on things, and he is now suiciding this Overlord in, trying to get some additional information, and he's actually getting a whole bunch, as those Stalkers didn't take any pot shots at him at all. The Twilight Council is down, Extended Thermal Lances is on its way, and we should see an attempt at a 3rd base pretty soon out of the Protoss, as DaveDiggler is already taking his. The unit counts also, the army account right now is actually, not army, the food count is pretty equal. Looking at the army, the thing is, total units, a lot of that, you can see that DaveDiggler is actually banking quite a lot of resources. Once you see a whole bunch more Overlords pop out, yeah, we're starting to see a whole bunch more, he's going to be dumping that bank. Hopefully kind of all at the same time. He's got 20 larvae there, he's starting to take some. He's waiting for something. There, the Overlord now finally getting taken out. Got a lot of scouting information, although I don't know if it saw the Twilight Council. It did, in fact, see the Twilight Council. Twilight Council not being utilized, really, at this point in time. It could just be for +2, +2. In fact, that's almost guaranteed what it was for. Jordasniper really getting close to supply block, and I'm really wanting to see if DaveDiggler is actually going to invest in 20 mutas all at the exact same time, which his bank kind of suggests that he will, especially now. Look at that hat of supply there. 15 mutas all at the same time. That is exactly what he was planning. 15 mutas is actually almost to the tipping point, actually. Mutas become really scary in large balls, but really not so scary in small groups. And right around 20 is the tipping point where it becomes a critical mass, and I can start calling them a murda? Yes, a murda of mutas. I could do that if I was from another country or had a sweet accent. Unfortunately, I don't, because I was raised all over the United States, and I just learned recently that the official place in the United States that doesn't have an accent is where I grew most of my life, which is in Ohio somewhere. That's as far as I got. Ooh, the mothership core is going to be sniped off. That's a big deal. No more retreating out of this. Too many mutas, or actually too many stalkers. The mutas need to be very careful about how they engage. I'm surprised the stalkers are not engaging. Why are they not engaging? I don't think he's watching. I think he's simply retreating. And he's going to take out one Colossi. There we go. That was totally worth it. Didn't even lose a muta there. That's painful. So the base was taken out. That's altogether not really a big deal, as his opponent's still only on 2 bases, and now he's got all these mutas, and without the Twilight Council, this is important just for Blink, mostly, at this point in time. Oh! Is he going to focus down? He's going to try to focus down. No, it's going to be too much, too many Stalkers to handle. Blink should be researched if you're going to deal with this many mutas, but it looks like he's just going to come in and keep being super annoying. Check out that APM. Whew. Average APM and all that. He really needs to come and snipe these, as the Twilight Council is enabling lots of upgrades, and is being a giant pain in the butt, because he could, in fact, do something like Blink, which will really shut down a lot of muta play. Although, once you get to that certain number of mutas, it becomes really, really difficult. That said, it doesn't look like he's investing too much more into that, as the Ultralisk Cavern is on its way. +2/+2 is on its way. The crater, so the hive is done. Mutas are being super annoying. No more Colossi, almost no more Immortals. There's no Immortals actually on the map right now. And instead, it looks like we're going to have another base race. Oh my goodness, base race are us. This needs to be really careful from DaveDiggler, as this is a pretty good Colossi Stalker Zealot Death Ball. We do have 50 Lings in production. They're not all out at the same time, but there's also no force fields. There's no space control, and these Lings are actually going to get a decent amount of damage done, as they are +2. Or there's the +2. It just now hits, but the Ultras are not here. Once the Ultras pop, there's no Immortals. This could defend this. Back home, the mutas are causing quite a bit of trouble. No more production at this point in time. The Ultras, here they come, getting in on that. Oh, but they're not able to get in up close to the things that really cause lots of damage. Yeah, they do bonus damage versus armored, or they used to. Actually, they do the same damage to everything now. And now with those mutas being here to back up, this could work out really well, although I think overall he's going to lose almost all the mutas. So overall, who's coming out ahead? The attack continues down. Now that the Colossi is down, the Stalkers should be cleaned up here pretty quick by some additional Lings. 16 more Lings in production. He's going to be focusing down the Spire. Not a bad choice. These +2/+2 Lings are pretty scary. I don't believe they have adrenal glands on them yet. No, so they're not as scary. And oh my goodness, jordasniper goes ahead and throws down the GG, and it looks like we're going to see DaveDiggler making his way into the winners bracket finals here in MSL Code Gold. So congratulations, DaveDiggler. And jordasniper, I do believe actually this game was a lot closer than you might have realized. Yes, you had a much smaller army at this point in time. The gameplay was pretty close. There was a few... The mutas chasing down and killing 2 Colossi for free was a little bit of a blunder. And also there was nothing up here. There's no sentries. I feel like that also could have been a little bit of a blunder. But your engagements were quite good. Either way, good luck in the losers bracket, as you could make your way back up to fight DaveDiggler again. So thanks again, everyone. Hopefully you liked everything. Give me a thumbs up. Share it with your friends. I'd love to get at least 10 views per video. I know that sounds really vain of me, but it is what it is. So thanks again. Have a good night.